We can now walk directly between both the shipping containers. So in this video I'll be showing you how I install a cavity sliding door in the end of a shipping container. I was going to put a glass wall in the end of the container. Plans have changed, now it's going to be a simple sliding door. Here's a view of the outside wall that I'll be removing. The side railings are level with the floorboards, but the end railings have a step up. I'm going to have to compensate when I install the sliding door. My outside floor is slightly taller. I made this frame a few years ago to go round an external door, so I know it's of about the right size. I'm going to cut off the bottom rail, but I need the legs to remain parallel. So I bolted on a wooden beam to keep everything rigid. I positioned the frame where I'd like it to go, and then I just drew round the outside. Okay, now I need to cut out the bottom of the door. If I cut very close, I'll be here for hours. If I cut slightly above it, I'll get the door cut clear, and then I'll have to grind back when I haven't got this panel in the way. So that's what I'm going to do. I use the baby angle grinder for cutting out. This is because it's easy to handle and the steel isn't very thick. So everything's ready for the final cut.
Is that done? Ooh. Hello, door. There's just a bit stuck at the top there, look. You might need to just ground that. Oh, you done it? Oh, well done. Okay. Woo! Hello, door. Well done. Hello, door. How's it going?
I say it each time I make a hole for a window or a door, but it really does change the personality of the containers when you create a new opening. I was asked how many wheels it takes to cut out a doorway. It took 6 of the small cutting wheels and 1 small grinding disc. This is the bottom piece that I've got to get rid of now. I don't like using the big angle grinder, however to cut out the big welds at the bottom it does actually do the trick. Here's the bottom rail ground flat. I clean up the edges with the baby angle grinder, and then I try my frame in the hole. If there are any high spots, I just grind them down until the frame fits. I grind some paint off the container where I'm going to weld the frame in place. Here's one of the welds holding the frame in place. I grind them flat and then I spray them with Colgao. I've discovered that if I put tape on the inside of the joint, when I run the silicone on the outside, it does a much better job and there's no wastage. I run a bead of silicone down the join and then I smooth it off with a soapy wet finger. Well, morning. Once again, I'm going to learn somebody else's profession. So today I'm going to put in a cavity sliding door. So I'm putting in a sliding door so that we retain the space either on the inside or the outside. Now I've just roughed it in, so there's just a header holding this in place, and I've got to the point where the door is actually functioning, and I've just roughed it in. I'll finish it up shortly. Don't you just love kits that don't send you all the bits? I needed 8 screws to hold the top in place, and I got 7, and I was missing the entire 8 across the top. Now fortunately I've got my own bucket of bolts and nuts and screws, but it's a little frustrating when they send you rubbish. This topic is covered in full detail in part 2 of the ebook How to Build an Off-Grid Shipping Container House. I was given a hardwood board, so I'll clean it up and use it underneath the door. That's a success. Rough. Really very nice. Okay, the door's progressing nicely. It's now sliding. I've yet to put a handle on. I've covered the outside on both sides in builder's paper, and I think that'll give me a level of insulation. These are the wooden surrounds or reveals from my old kitchen window. Make a mental note of them. Do you remember when I was installing the white window in the kitchen over there, I took off the wooden reveals around the outside? Well, I've managed to reuse them. It was nice hardwood, and I've created some furniture on the door. So I'm quite pleased with the fact that I've been able to reuse the materials that I've got to hand. So here's that hardwood board being used to level the step. And here's the reveal as furniture on the door. It started raining right after the second coat was put on. Putting in insulation and framing the doorway has now begun properly. I took a piece of wood out of the firewood box and I cut 2 small pieces out of it. This gave me my door handles. How's that for recycling? I've put up my insulation and some sheeting over the top, and I've even moved my light switch to a more traditional location. The sliding door has been a definite success. The 2 containers feel a lot more connected, and it's much easier to get around the house. I've been very pleased with the way my solar panels have worked out, so click on this episode to see how they were installed. Press subscribe to follow more of our adventures, and please press the like button if you enjoyed this video. It helps the channel. For more information about the ebooks, please visit my website at buildshippingcontainerhouse.com.